Hello there. Here's the next part of the walkthrough, creating Strife and Grimbone for Foundry VTT. This is a Pathfinder 2nd edition game. Last time I got a bit tired, as I admitted, and I've finished off what I was doing for the wealthy home, the abandoned wealthy home. So I have walls now. I've lights and ambient sounds and regions where I create the inside darker than the outside. I have a little light here that's only on during the daytime, between 0 and 0.6 darkness, so that a little light shines in from a window high up in the wall of the basement. On the description here, I say that this was once a proud home of a wealthy silver trader, but the resistance he and his personal guards put up only made them a target for the beast folk. They were all slain and his home looted of all valuables. On a DC 20 perception check, the PCs will discover that not only are there no valuables, it appears the house was clumsily and roughly looted, perhaps not the behaviour of devils. But I had to think about perception checks, and I think if I do the standard system of having an invitation made in the chat, the players are always going to know when there's something to find. Perhaps it would be better, especially for perception, where someone may make a check and there may be nothing to find, to have a different system. And so this is what I propose now. We will use a macro instead. So I have it here already, but I'll demonstrate it again. If you go into the compendium pack and under macros, in the standard Pathfinder 2nd edition system, we have PF2E macros. And this is a short list of macros. We're looking for perception for selected tokens. Drag that into a hotbar, or if we click it, we can execute the macro that way. But we'll drag it back into our hotbar, and we'll invite the players all to do the same. Say, look up macros and PF2E macros, or tell them to click on perception type in perception for selected tokens, and as they start typing, it'll narrow down the options here. And then similarly, they can drag it into their hotbar. So if we have sealer selected and we click this, the player will automatically make the roll. Now it's a secret check, so the player will just see some question marks on their dice, but I'll see 19, and then I will see if that's past the DC or not. So when I want them to make a perception check, I'll ask them to do it in their macro instead of in the chat, and then I can see their hidden roll with the perception. If they want to make a perception check and there's nothing to find, I can similarly invite them to do so, and if there's a DC to meet, they may or may not meet it. If there's no DC to meet, then simply say you don't discover anything. And while we're on perception, you could similarly use sneak or stealth, because in exploration mode, PCs will often say, well, I'm sneaking along, and it's you could say there may or may not be someone to find, there may not be a reason to sneak around, and so we invite them to make the check anyway. If I've got something in my journal and then I invite them to make it in the chat, then you pretty much know that there's a reason for them to be sneaking. So similarly, we've got sealer selected. She has a 16 on her stealth check. I think it's quite impressive for sealer and her armour. What else is useful here? Treat wounds is useful. This way, sealer, if selected, can treat wounds now. What's handy about this macro is that as well as the default train DC, you can select all the different DCs which give different bonuses for healing. If you select Master and Sealer's only trained, she will default to a trained role even though you selected Master, and the DC will still be 15. So we'll do treat wounds. Sealer's not trained in medicine, unfortunate. Sealer, have some emergency medical training. If only it was so quick in real life. Done again. And now we do the roll. So makes her roll. We got a 70. We got a 25 on the roll, which is just a critical success, and that's why it rolled as 4d8 instead of 2d8 automatically, and we get 17 healing. Select the character that you want to apply it to, and the player or the GM can apply the healing. Sealer was already at full health. And you can do a rest for the night as well, which may be helpful. So that was just a little quality of life aside there, and changing my mind aside with respect to how I organise perception checks. Anyway, so the PCs have a chance to perceive that the house is untidy. The ghouls layering in this basement will hear any noise of searching above unless there is a deliberate attempt to be quiet. So I think next thing we need to do is create some ghouls. And there's a slight difference between the monster core and the bestiary. I think we'll use the modern monster core one, if we have it. We don't seem to have the... So when they remastered ghouls, they gave them slightly different abilities. We'll have a little look here. We'll go to bestiary, rule books, or we'll go for monster core. I think a ghoul stalker is the default one for monster core. Ghoul whispers. For low level characters, paralysis is a little bit of a dangerous ability to have, so I think what we'll do is we'll stick with the old-fashioned ghoul. After all that fuss. Give me a good old-fashioned ghoul any day. Drag it into creatures. And we'll give it a picture. Nasty ghoul picture there. It looks much more like an old-fashioned paralysing ghoul rather than the newfangled clever whisperer, sneaky whisperer ghoul dressed in fancy costume. And we will need to give it a token. Thank you, tokenizer. add a frame. No, ghouls are obviously green. And I think they're cryptic sigils rather than runes. That's fine. And that's our ghoul. Drag them there. And we have the ghouls attempting making a hearing check, so we could make that easier for them, for the GM. We don't need to type. We do need to not have a capital H for the check. Perception. We don't really want to have a DC, do we? I'll just think about how best I'm going to do this. So type perception and so if I don't do a DC, I can still click there, make a roll, although I selected Sealer, and that would be 23. Then I will compare it against the PC's stealth DCs for how well they were avoiding notice. Sealer's stealth DC is 18, so Sealer was not quite enough. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition we don't have opposed checks. We have an active party, who's in this case the ghouls, who may listen, and a passive party with the PCs making ongoing avoiding notice checks. But even one of them wasn't, then they're going to be heard. So you could role play that or story tell that with the character with the lowest stealth DC. Oh, such and such a character knocked over a lampshade, and you heard a sinister scuffling from underneath the floorboards. Speaking of underneath the floorboards, we have here a means to open the trapdoor and close it again, just like we had in the Hag's Tower. So I think that's all we needed for the ghouls. But I think, again, another change of habit. I think it's easier to have creatures already in the scene. And so if the PC's made a noise, they'll be coming up here, and then coming up through the trapdoor. So you could have the sound, play the sound of the trapdoor opening, which the players will hear, and then that will perhaps start the fight. Make them visible for that. but they're invisible for now. So that's the wealthy home done. Bit of housekeeping when I was looking at the journal and saw arrival at Grimbone. I've got arrival at Grimbone, places of interest in town, outside of town. Arrival in Grimbone should link to the first Grimbone encounter. There we are. So that's going to make it easier just to click the west gate, bring up that place. Now from the west gate they will tend to go to the town keep. In the town keep, we will know what to do. Nicely linked there. Once we're in the town keep, we had a long conversation with Grimbone and Brigger, so I think I would be nice, because we don't actually have a scene for the town hall, perhaps at least to show them their pictures. Maybe I put it in the tokens. Maybe I don't know where I put them. Again, hang on a second. So, Ezran wants to sell something to this merchant, and say he wants to sell his marvelous miniature, the ladder. We can adjust the selling markup right here, so the merchant will buy at a price ratio of 1 and sell at a price ratio of 1, so very generous merchant. So marvelous miniature ladder costs 3 gold pieces. We would expect these gold pieces to go up to 34, and it has done. And then we buy back the ladder, I'm the GM, so I have a choice of giving or purchasing. I purchase it. Back to there. If you don't have PF2E tool belt, you can transfer stuff into the merchant, but you won't get any money for it. You'll be selling everything for free. You buy stuff normally. So just to show you here, in the game settings, you need to have tool belt as one of your modules, PF2E tool belt. Scroll down, Better Merchant enables the functionalities of actually automatically adjusting the coin value upwards when you sell stuff. You can set limits on the ratios here, buy to sell ratios. And again, we go to item filters. We want to change the buying price to 0.5. And now if he wants to sell his elixir of life for 3 gold pieces, sell his scroll of Grimtrendles for 4 gold pieces, he should only get 33 coin up there, not 35. Correct. So that's a merchant, so we may as well keep that merchant, make it invisible to start off with. So that's the general store. Let's check we've done everything there. Yeah. If asked why he is not full of doom and gloom like everyone else, Pelos smiles and maintains that it is all part of life's rich tapestry. It keeps away the bleaching. He just has a feeling things will work out, and if the worst comes to the worst, perhaps he will be able to flee. But until the devils are knocking down the door, he is staying put. Perhaps he might even sell the fiends a bauble or two, he jokes, you hope. If asked what he thinks about the nature of the raiders, he maintains that they must be devils because the town says they are devils, all evidence pointing to the contrary. If asked what he means by that, he goes a bit vague, not wanting to cause any friction, being of different ancestry from the rest of town and wanting to fit in. But he does admit that the general behaviour of the raiders and lack of clear motive are somewhat against type for the most fearsome and disciplined armies the Outer Planes have to offer. So, next we have our next location is Screams by the Cartload. We can guess this is going to be a pleasant place. Oh, it didn't like it. Create the new page. And we'll do some cutting and pasting. And some formatting. No! Bold is off. Block quotas on. If the PCs pass back near this building after their initial entry from the west gate, they hear desperate screams from inside. I think it might be time to do some labelling, don't you? So we got up to there, the mining compound. South Gate is the next one. I need to set it onto journal things. I'll change that to G11. And this which are going to be the wealthy home there. G12. And then the shop, we'll make it this one here. G13. And the carting places there. In case there's a scenario where the PCs can see, no, I don't think they will. That's that done. We need to create the carter's home. You can see that I've got the scales wrong a bit here, never mind. Well, because this is 5 feet and some of my buildings are smaller. Create a new place, new scene. Carter's home. Background image to the scenes. Foreground 10. Grid. I think it's a 300. Thicker lines. Grey lines as usual. And we'll save that. Looks like we have the right scale. I think we'll make the grid a little bit more visible. That's better. And we'll put these here. Actually, we'll close them up because we're doing pictures now, and we'll add in our tab, a tile for the walls. Select those walls, make them usual opacity, not fading. Okay, we'll do the actual walls now. Looking at it, I think we can just go for the grid here. No, I think we won't. We'll include visibility of the walls. So walls with gaps for windows. And I think we'll just have a little bit of a thing for a door there. Or should we make this fence? I think we'll just make it a wall. There we go, at last. And we'll do doors. This door is open. And we'll have it creaky. And this one is locked, and you'll find out why. Make it creaky. This one is closed and basic. This one is sort of closed and basic. Then we have a window. There's another window here. And there's another window there. Oops. Back to walls. Windows. I think that's done now. Any tall objects? Not really, no. I'm not so happy with this wall. I think it's sticking out too much. Better. We need to do a tile for the trapdoor, which is similar to other ones. So we have a closed trapdoor, which will start off invisible, and our open trapdoor, which will start off visible. We'll put in some lights, so we can have a little light. You can have a little light here. And one in this room here. A flickering light. And then we'll have it darker inside than out. Create a rectangle. And we'll darken it. Like that. Sounds. We'll have some sounds of the village sounds. And nighttime sounds. And indoors we'll have some sounds. See if we can get away with one sound. I'm sure that'll be okay. And I think that's everything. Oh, we ought to do the basement. We have the ladder there. Don't think we have any other walls or things there, and we won't have any light there, but we have to make it very dark. So we select that, we'll add another shape to that region, so we unselect it. Hopefully this will be just be in a different colour entirely. Yes, it is, so we know it's a completely different region. Behaviors, just darkness level, override it just to make it black. The dark basement. We'll go to the journal. Right, if the PCs pass back near this building after their initial entry from the west gate, they hear desperate screams from inside. A sudden chorus of screams arises from a wooden building to the south of the main road, leading back to the west gate. The noise is increased in desperation with every passing moment. To the rear of the building is a large open area filled with carts, most of them empty. If the PCs investigate, they come upon a horrifying sight. 4 emaciated and rotting creatures with darting snake-like tongues and still dressed in tattered burial robes are inside, trying to break through an inner door on the ground floor. It's going to be here, the locked one. They have nearly succeeded. The shouts of terror are coming from the other side of the barricaded door. In the centre of the entrance room, a trapdoor lies thrown open, and there is a trail of blood-stained dirt leading from the trapdoor to the creatures. The 4 ghouls are distracted, so intent are they on getting at their prey. They are former family members and suffer -4 in perception for initiative against the PCs. So we'll start editing this. So we need to introduce some ghouls. And we'll put them on the map. Is there any reason why they need to be invisible? No, because they're going to see them as soon as they come in. We'll deal with the trapdoor. need to create a macro. So Strife and seem to have a lot of macros. Seem to, in my trials and tribulations, I seem to have duplicated a lot of macros. We'll open that folder, and the ones we're interested in are these ones. So we have a wealthy home trapdoor. Let's duplicate that. Carter home trapdoor. And we need to change the UUIDs here. So we'll first get them. We'll go into tabs, tiles I mean, and we're probably best to move them aside. So that's the open one. We'll paste the UUID here. I'm going to put it into tile 2. And then the closed one. Get the ID. Tile 1. Alright, save that. Will it work? Carter home trapdoor. Let's put it back into the right place. Oops. Drag it here. Test. So the wrong way around, wasn't it? The sounds. So we'll swap them around. Try again. Closed. Open. Fine. So that's going to be a nice little encounter there. A bit of background. Heading 2. Since the church was destroyed and its priests lost, few in Grimbone are brave enough to use the cemetery just north of town. They have taken to burying their dead in this time of troubles in townhouse basements without proper rites. After a couple of specimens were animated by the master, ghoul fever has spread around the town and many of the dead are rising again to spread the fever further, typically, in a cruel twist of fate, starting with their former loved ones. If the PCs explore the basement, they see 4 freshly dug out from within graves. And And really I should cut that there, I think. And we should drag our macro there. We'll make that a GM secret. Okay, and then we'll do our cut and paste our traditional XP award from the West Gate. No. Townkeep will have one, won't it? Yeah. If the PCs go to the townkeep with information that ghoul fever is spreading due to the current practice of burying the dead, and persuade the triumvirate to have this practice changed, award the PC 80 XP moderate accomplishment. Looks fine. See the 4 graves there. Next is the local shop. This small shop sits on the main street between the keep and the West Gate, and its sign proudly proclaims itself the local shop, all items bought, sold and repaired. Inside are the 2 shopkeepers, an elderly man and his wife. The shop is full of knickknacks and curiosities and contains every mechanical item of adventuring gear 4th level or lower. However, the shopkeepers demand to know if the PCs are local, maintaining that this is a local shop for local people. They become agitated if the PCs ask too many questions about or touch the precious things, their knickknacks and mechanical items. Their most treasured item, kept under the counter, is a clockwork recorder, discovered and repaired by their hidden assistant. Once the shopkeepers become agitated, an ominous thumping, like heavy footsteps on the floor above, can be heard from the loft space. The shopkeepers immediately become silent and look guilty, nervously protesting that they heard nothing. A ladder is seen behind the counter leading up to a trapdoor. The shopkeepers seem too scared to stop the PCs from going up the ladder, but urgently protest against it, offering dire warnings. So we need a local shop, and luckily I have just the thing. What's going on here? Oh. Scenes. I'm guessing 300 for a small building like that I would have done. Thicker lines. Yep, there was the right. Alright, now add in the walls, wall appearances. It's not that one. It's like that one. And select it. Now we'll do the wall barriers. Alright, try and identify the windows. That's a small window there. That's the door in the middle. No windows in this wall. Window there. Extend that wall up to here. Inside walls. To the door. And windows. Doors first. And I think we'll have a heavy door. Fine. And a basic door here. And we should have some tall structures. So I think this will be near the ceiling. No, it's too close to the door. Remove that. Oh no, it's close to a window. Put it back in again now. That's that. Put in windows. other tall structures. And the stairs, I think. Just maybe see if it works just doing the top of the stairs. Nope, that's windows. No, I don't think I'll do that. So you can kind of, I don't think the stairs would be that obstructive. We'll just have it on here. Oh dear. There. We'll say that, make that tall. And the wardrobe here. Oh dear. And what should I do about the counter? Shall I say people can just, I would just say people can climb over it, it'd be difficult terrain or something. So I think that's enough for there. Now, lights. So we'll have a little light here, rather yellowish. Light, and it's a bit too yellowish, isn't it? And some lights coming in from the window. In the daytime only. Make it darker. We have something obstructing the light there. So we'll select these and make them no light restriction. a little red light there. I know that, like a pulsing or something different, a mysterious emanation. Okay. Should be another light there. And we'll keep the lights off there. The room is dark. And we may as well do the attic. The lamppost. Right, let's do the a character. So we've got Kyra here. Kyra seems to have some light on her. Maybe not. Made that walkable. So here we had the walls as part of that roof there, so we're kind of underneath there, but we should maybe limit the movement to maybe just one tile below there. No. here. But I think maybe we'll allow them to see the roof, so we'll have an invisible wall. Otherwise known as a window. Just limiting their movement. Sounds. A bit of a creaking, that's all we need. Now we'll add something a little bit more creepy, like a little. See, there's like a whispering. Yeah, I can hear a little bit of whispering there. Nice and creepy. And then outside sounds. Follow the village sound in the daytime. That's not going to constrain sound either. And we'll have a nighttime sound. That's the sounds done. Need to make this dark as well. But we could do the same degree as that one. No, we'll make this one pitch dark. So unselected that. I think I'll make it like this because just cover the visible bit, yeah. So we don't get the band of light and dark on the roof. Oh. override to maximum darkness. That's our regions there. We could have a street light, couldn't we? Only on at night. Okay. Now we'll do a bit more about what's in the area. The most treasured item kept under the counter is our clockwork recorder. Let's see if we got that in here. Doing the wrong thing, I need to be in here. Clockwork. Clockwork recorder. Once the shopkeepers become agitated, I've done about the thumping. We need a trapdoor tile. Oh. We have a closed one. And this we have to rotate. I wonder if shift will work. Yep. And this. So we'll have it starting off closed and the open one. Invisible. And we'll have to copy our macro. Strife and Grimbone, we should get rid of some of these. So copy that one. Open trapdoor. and our closed trapdoor. Cut and paste. And we'll put them back on top of each other. I think we'll have it open because when they come up from below, it's going to start off open, isn't it? Maybe we'll start it off closed because use it to use the macro to open it. In the loft space, oops. In the loft space is a deathly pale greenish half-naked figure with a huge glowing eyes and sharp fangs and wielding a large wrench, brackets club. It is initially hiding in the dark behind a workbench, DC-21 for cover, automatic accessibility does not have a light and cannot see in the darkness. So it's making a stealth check there, I think, and we'll look at that. But leaps at the first PC to enter. This is a Morlock, but the PCs may mistake it for undead. The Morlock attacks those who enter the loft space, or will descend the ladder to join any combat against the PCs downstairs. Meanwhile, the apparently meek and terrified shopkeepers become galvanized into action and attack in a fanatical frenzy any PC still downstairs, or they climb up the ladder to join the fight. We need a Morlock. And we'll set up a image for him. And a token. What color should we have? I think red. I think that red. Now we know where we got the idea of Gollum from. That's the Morlock, and we want the local shopkeeper. Now I'm thinking we'll use the cultist template. Let's have a look at that. NPC dagger fanatical frenzy. Perfect. So we'll import that. And we'll change them to male shopkeeper. So our creatures are a 1, a 1 and a 2, so that's, I think this is before second level PCs, 2 first levels and a second level is going to be a quite a tough encounter. I think we'll reduce them to level 0. Because you don't really expect an end boss encounter when you're going into a shop. And the attack. That's not relevant unless you're a higher ranking shopkeeper. There he is there. Make him into a token as usual. Oh, we don't want to do that. Nor that. Yeah. Okay, that's him, and then duplicate him, clone him, swap the layers around, and then we'll adjust her. Funny how closer up they look nastier. Good. Check the prototype token is right. I'll have a look at that. So, male shopkeeper here, female shopkeeper. Yeah, it works. So I'm not going to put their tokens down because then the PCs will think that they're competent. So wait till the fight and then put the tokens in. So our Morlock is going there, and our male shopkeeper is going there, and our female shopkeeper is going there, and we'll put the Morlock they're hiding under a workbench. Now, we wanted to have a look at the Morlock hiding. So, we'll instead change it to a perception check for the PC. This is the active one coming into the room. Okay. What else in the local shop? Background. Who knows the dark tale of how a Morlock came to be hiding in the attic of the local shop? There are rumours about town that the wife gave birth some years ago after a difficult labour, but the child was never seen and presumed stillborn. Also, the couple had an enormous appetite for fresh meat. Certainly the shopkeepers had a knack for fixing mechanical items and were valued members of the Grimbone community as a result, even though they were strange and kept themselves to themselves. In fact, it was the Morlock, kept in the attic, who used his instinctual tinker ability to good effect. The dingy attic contains a straw pallet, excuse me, a bucket of slops, very nice, a bucket that looks like it recently held raw meat, and a small workshop with crafter's tools, but without any lighting to work by. Under the workbench, wrapped in rags, is a crafter's eyepiece. As it's a single item, we won't bother with a loot bag. There. And we'll also put it in here. Not going to work. I think it's going to need to be an actor or an item, or in fact it's going to need its own item, isn't it? So I will just not have it as a loot thing. It'll just be something that the PCs may find if they search. That completes the fixed encounters for Chapter 3 of Grimbone. There are some other areas, but they're best covered in other chapters, even though they may be visited in this chapter. They won't have important story elements. I'm referring to the quarry and the cemetery and some one or two other places especially. I need to just finish and do the local shop, which will be this one here. Oh, is that journal notes? G15. And looking like quite a nicely, nearly completed area, but we need some random encounters. Ashford random encounters and our default rollable table. So we'll copy this one, duplicate it. I think that was our default one. Let's get rid of that one. Grimbone daytime random encounters. And our plan here was it would be to replicate the system we had before. So we decided that there would be document types, and we'd number them like that. In the journal in the Ashwood, we decided that we needed a different journal entry for each rather than a separate journal page, because the documents would only point to journal entries, not journal pages. So we start populating our journal with random encounters. And I think I'm going to do a number. Xenophobic townsfolk. Add a page, which will just be the single page entry. There we are. Some townsfolk have heard that the PCs are in town and suspect they are responsible for Grimbone's problems, or perhaps they just want to vent their frustrations on easier targets than devils or undead. They bump into the PCs brandishing their weapons. Some kind of conversation, skill check or spell would be required to prevent a fight. So that would be perhaps intimidation or diplomacy against their will DC, or something like a charm spell. So we get stats for, so we're using the stats for miners, I think. See if that's in there as an NPC. I believe it is. Yeah, we have a miner. And what level are they? Level 0. Perfect. But they are indeed miners from the quarry. And they have picks, and they have Python pin where they can stick your clothes to the, or we'll call it clothes, not body parts, to a convenient wall or floor. With them, and we will have the tokenizer. I would like a dark yellow one. He looks very angry. And then we'll have a ringleader. A drunkard. Reach level 2, that seems reasonable. 4 0 levels and 1 second level. Import it. His eyes are red. Same theme of... Did I have red? Or did I have a different colour? My short-term memory is gone. Anyway, we can get rid of that. It was darkish yellow, wasn't it? Ringleader. Let's change you over. Nice. Oh, so he goes with the old fist and the pewter mug, but let's give him a pick. nasty. Oh, let's make it nasty. Drunken rage. So let's check we've done these correctly. Ringleader and change his token name. We could use this map for this encounter, indeed all the random encounters, although it's a bit of a magnification required, it's workable. Okay, we got that as our first encounter, and in our second one actually we'll add a bit of treasure. Oh, don't like that. I don't like that either. I think I know why that is. Let's do it like this. Better? If they're slain or knocked unconscious through non-lethal damage, there are no particular repercussions. The townsfolk carry 16 silver pieces between them. Yeah, we can just do that manually, I think. I suppose we could do it as an item. I don't know, I don't think we will. Oh, why don't we? An actor, loot. Okay, it's done now. Obviously we can't put this on the map because it's a wandering, it's a random encounter. Whoops. The xenophobic townsfolk are complete. Next is ghoulish rats. There's a real problem in Grimbone, I'll say, with the spread of ghoul fever among the corpses being buried in basements. Some giant rats have caught and transmitted the disease. You hear a loud chittering, and bursting out from a crack under a house is an explosion of dark fur and gnashing teeth. Several giant rats are upon you, but you see their fur is rotting, revealing bare, festering skin in patches, and their eyes glow with unholy light. A ghoul rat. So we'll modify a giant rat. Put it there. Where's our giant rat there? Ghoul rat. Token ghoul rat. We'll keep its size small. We'll add undead trait to it. And I think we'll add the ghoul trait. We'll change them to level 1, which does nothing. Just, well, I suppose it would change the experience points that you get awarded if you have an automatic experience point tracker, and we can easily see the difficulty on our list. We'll do the picture. Nice, attractive creature. You know, if that creature was nearly going extinct, do you think people would pay to the charity to try and preserve its species? So, our non-extinct ghoul rat, I think ghouls have got to be a sickly green, haven't they? Maybe just the red, like the actual ghouls were. Yeah. And jiggle it around a bit in there. That's enough. Get the idea of the length of the tongue. So what stats should we change? Well, I've done a ghoul rat before. Perception 7. Skills. Acrobatics 7, useful for tumbling if you've got multiple creatures in a small place. Athletics 4. Got a climb. Change that athletics to that's supposed to be 4. Change that one to 6. Stealth 7. the armor class 17, so I've basically put everything up by 1, by 2, haven't I? Hit points 16. Now we're going to need some ghoul properties, aren't we? I hope I can just, let's put void, see if we can have void healing here. Yeah. Yeah, we've got void healing. And I think we'll have putrid plague as well. And we're going to have some immunities. Death. Immune to death. It's the kind of immunity I like. Disease. Disease. Paralyzed. Poison. And unconscious. Speed. Keep that changed. 30 there. Reflexes. Again, +2 on 8 and everything. I mean. And the attack. +9. It's agile. Finesse, yeah, fine. 1d6 +1, yeah. And then we need to add the ghoul fever and the paralysis, so whether of them add these here. Okay. We have to add them first in here. Ghoul fever and paralysis. Ghoul paralysis, perfect. Now when we go to the doors, we've got ghoul fever and paralysis. Consume flesh. Yeah, one action adjacent to a corpse of a small or larger creature. Hopefully it's not one of the PCs. Ghoul fever, mentioned it. Paralysis, mentioned it. They're going to come back as a ghoul, probably. Well, I don't know, yeah, human you come back as a ghoul. If you're a rat, you come back as a ghoul rat. A bit like alien infestation. That's enough for that. Check what it looks like. And it's small, yeah, very nice creature. How many of them were there? 4. Tough. And our next one is going to be leaving the sinking ship. 3. Add a page. Not that we're going to use this title. That mistake again. Done it there. The ubiquitous rats nesting in and under the town of Grimbone are being displaced by worse vermin, the ghoul rats. A swarm of them forms a moving carpet of dark fur across the ground as they stream out of a hole, just as the PCs are walking by. In their confusion, they attack all in their path. So a rat swarm. What level is this? Yeah, fine. Nice easy encounter. Easy but different. Import it. We have a picture for this as well. Nasty picture. I think that's fine. Nothing else to say about them. So far we've got xenophobic townsfolk, ghoulish rats leaving the sinking ship. Next one is going to be Running Mini. Minnie from Encounter G5 is wandering the streets in tears, wringing her husband's shirt and careless of who might find her. There's a picture there. We just want to link to that encounter. How does this look in the actual journal? Yep. I should really have a picture in the encounter itself, shouldn't I? There we are. And the next one we have, oh, that's all the daytime encounters, so let's make our rollable table now. Ooh, we didn't seem to save our change of name. Save. So on a D100, we want an encounter about 1 in 10 by day. So let's remove these. And let's start adding some. I'm sure in the other one we had no encounter. Which should be so I think we'll have 5 to 40. 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 40, no encounter. So we'll check how that works. Roll it. No encounter. We got a 22 on it. Ah, D40. $38 out of 40. Oh, we got Moaning Mini. So we can go to that one. Now we want nighttime Grimbone random encounters. Nope, folder. And our first one will be Ghoul's Feast. He ran the corner to be greeted by a ghoulish sight. 3 emaciated, not quite human creatures with rotting flesh, long claws and longer snake-like tongues are hunched over an unmoving form. About to feed ravenously, spying you, they make ready to defend their meal. These are 3 ghouls, former townsfolk and victims of the plague of ghoul fever started by the master. They carry no treasure. When wounded, they may take an action to consume flesh on the corpse at their feet. Each ghoul can do so once. The corpse is too far gone even to be identified, let alone saved. So there are ghouls. What's next? The werewolf. Silhouetted on a rooftop, an inky shadow against the dark sky, is a bestial female human figure. It appears to sniff and turns towards you, a baleful light in its penetrating gaze. So first we'll have a picture. There we have it. This is the same werewolf as in the Ashwood Forest Random Encounter, Chapter 2. She is returning from a nightly hunt and does not particularly want to encounter anyone on the streets of the town where she leads a human life. If the PCs pause, or it seems otherwise possible, her first instinct is to flee. She will leap from rooftop to rooftop, hoping to lose the PCs, then drop down into a dark alley, transform into human form and make her way home to G8. It's going to be here, isn't it? Climbing up to a typical roof top is a DC 15 check, requiring 2 5-foot climb actions. The roofs are uneven ground to move across, balance check. Got some checks here. And we'll do this one. The werewolf has 30-foot speed and can leap across a 10-foot gap between roofs as an action with automatic success, or take a 2-action long jump by striding 10 feet and making a DC 25 check to clear 20 feet. The werewolf has adapted to life in the trees and on the rooftops and has steady balance, critical success on successful balance and not flat-footed while on uneven ground. Some PCs appear to be keeping up with the werewolf. She will turn and fight on a rooftop rather than reveal where she lives, or spring down if the PCs are effectively hunting her from a distance. On 2 successful survival checks, a PC can track the werewolf to her home. Okay, that's done. We have ghoulish rats, the same as the other encounter. And then we have the Grimbone ghost, final encounter. Thinking about what we do about the numbering. What we should just do is change the werewolf to encounter 3, shouldn't we? Yeah, and then have ghoulish rats repeated, and then we have the Grimbone ghost, final one in night time. The Spectre encounter G11. It's reliably found by the south gate after dark, but sometimes it wanders the streets of the town it was supposed to help defend. There is a hush in the air and your skin tingles as you see facing you a ghostly figure in a uniform cowl and cloak cast in an unearthly greenish light. A bow is slung across his back. The lower part of the figure trails into a greenish mist as it floats above the ground. It looks about with malevolence and uncertainty. Identify the uniform. Okay. Now we'll do our encounter table. We'll duplicate this. And we will get rid of this one, this one, and this one, and we'll add that one, that one, and that one. I'll just swap these round, but we can probably do that. Range 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, 4 to 4, 5 to 40. Maybe reset. Update. Can we drag them down? Surprisingly, no. Shame we can't change the order here. Shame that updating wouldn't change. Maybe it just changes the weighting and the formulae. Never mind. At least we've got the. At least it's functionally operating. Save. No. So having done the random encounters, that's finished. Nearly finished chapter 3. I think we'll save for later 2 wilderness encounters in the forest: the harpy encounter and the forest drake encounter. The purposes of those are that you can get some more experience points, but because they're east of the town of Grimbone, they're not likely to be encountered before you've had a number of encounters in Grimbone itself, and in fact they're triggered by quests meeting people in Grimbone. So thanks very much for your attention, and I'll speak to you next time. Bye.